All right, I'm out here in the shop working on the engine for this Marauder. I got some parts in, and today I hope to put the crankshaft inside the block. I did take it to get hot tanked, and I got it back. Let me show you how that looks. It looks great. Here's a look at the block. This thing looks brand new. I mean, I put this in the pistons in the hot tank for probably about an hour and a half. Everything looks great. I'm fairly certain that I hot tanked this crankshaft before, because that thing is clean as well. So I'm ready to start putting this thing back together. Well, there's a few things that I want to make sure that I am going to do putting this together. In this video, I'm going to focus on the crankshaft and get that thing in there. Before I put that crankshaft in there, I need to hone down these cylinders just a little bit. And the reason for that is you need a nice surface for the rings to seat on. So I'm gonna do that first. But after I do that, and I clean it up, when I put the crankshaft in there, there's a few things that I'm gonna do. I was just gonna throw it in there with the bearings and just run it. But I literally was watching a video last night, Steve Morris Engines, and he was looking at some bearings and measuring bearings. And he was using inexpensive bearings, and some of them were marked as 10,000ths under, which would make them thicker, but they were actually standard size, so they were 5,000ths off. And that would have caused low oil pressure. And it occurred to me, like, I did get the inexpensive bearings. I'm not sure why Steve Morris is using inexpensive bearings on those engines, but of any of the bearings that you'd want to double check, I would say it's probably the inexpensive bearings. I've used expensive bearings many times and measured them many times, and there's hardly ever any deviation. In fact, I've never found any deviation. But I was thinking about it, if you are going to find some deviation in some bearings, it's probably going to be the cheaper bearings. So before I put the bearings in here and put the crankshaft in, I am going to measure the bearings. And I'm going to measure the clearance. I don't have plasti gauge. I do have my dial bore gauge. I'll put that in there and check it, but at least use plasti gauge to check your clearance to make sure everything is good. And if you can, measure the bearings just to make sure that the thickness is the same across all the bearings. And then I'm also going to check the end play in my crankshaft. When I put it in, and I'll talk about it when I do, you got to kind of set that thrust bearing so that you get your end play that you want. So I'm gonna be doing that too. But first, I need to get this engine, the cylinders, ball honed. So I got this flex hone. This is 3 3/4 inch. I'll put the part number down below if I have it. But here's the directions. Hopefully you can see that. Basically, you do want to use some type of lubrication on here, and there's a speed that you need to go in and out. And this is, it's about once per second, so down and up per second, and you want to have it on 500 to 600 RPM inside the drill. So let me, it also says use some kind of lubricant. I'm going to use WD-40 on this. It's very common to do that, and then clean it with some transmission fluid after. So let me get this set up. All right, I got my ball hone on here. I hope that's not too big. I kind of checked it out a little bit, but we'll see. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 in these cylinders and on the ball hone. All right, see if we can make a mess here. So the idea is you want to get the thing moving before you get it in there, and then keep it moving until you pull it out. You don't want any straight lines in there. So you can go all the way down, all the way in, basically 1001, 1001, 1002, 1003. I do that maybe 15 times, and that should be good. Let me wipe this out, take a look and see how it looks. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a little paper towel, putting some transmission fluid on there, and then I'm just cleaning out each cylinder. And then I'll fold the towel over. And you want to do this until all that grit comes up out of there. And when you pull it out, you should get, I mean, ideally none. You want no grit in there. Wow, that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can get a, you can really see it's cleaned up now. Now don't worry, like, let me show you on the other side. If there's a little discoloration down in the cylinder, let's see. You can kind of see it on this one right here. Don't worry about that. I mean, as long as it's not, you know, going to be catching on your fingernail. I've seen some of those discolorations and it's fine. You're just trying to give it a nice, kind of a new surface for the rings to seat up against. I'm going to flip this block over now, start getting ready to put this crankshaft in there. You can do that with the crankshaft in it. It's just a good idea, like put some newspaper or something down on the bottom to try and protect the crankshaft so you don't get anything on it. I meant to do it before I took it to the hot tank, but I forgot to do it. All right, now I'm going to take these main caps off of here. Got to keep them in order. I'm going to wipe down this this machine surface area where the caps bolt down to. I'm going to keep this area nice and clean. And I'm also going to take a nice clean rag and clean the bearing bore. This area you want nice and clean as well. I prefer not to lube this area. I know some engine builders will put lube on the back side of their bearings. I personally don't like to lube the back side of the bearings. My thought is I don't want any chance of that thing spinning. All right, for bearings I got Mahle from Clevite. They covered up, looks like they covered up the part number. I'll put the part number down in the description below. I'm not sure why they have this tape on there. That kind of worries me, that this might be a return or something like that. That's good. Still looks like it's in the original packaging. The aluminum blocks have this half moon little wedge that you put in there. So this is the thrust bearing, and that's the little half moon that goes on, I guess it's the top part of the engine. All right, so when I take these out, I like to try to, sometimes they're in little packages where they're numbered. So I like to go with like, this number 1 will be with that number 1, number 2 will be with number 2, number 3, number 3, number 4, number 4, and then obviously there's gonna be a number 5. But I don't know if it makes a difference. It's just something that I've always liked to do. So I'll keep these kind of in that order. All right, so I got a little tube micrometer. I'm gonna go through and measure these just to make sure that they're not way out of tolerance with each other at least. And I'm gonna measure in 3 different spots. So I'm gonna measure the center and the outsides. On each one, it goes pretty quick. Once you get, you know, the first measurement, you can check all the other ones and make sure they're pretty much the same. All right, that's pretty good. All of them they're all about the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the upper bearings in there. These have a little tang on them. I'm gonna do a little wipe down of them before I put them in there. That tang goes in and there's a little spot in the crankshaft. I'm sorry, in the engine block for that tang. So I'm just gonna give these a little wipe down. And then when I press these in there, they should like not just fall down in there. There's a spread that kind of keeps them in place, and that spread, and they also should stick up just a little bit. So I try to get them evenly sticking up. So like this will be sticking up just a little bit on either side. You don't want one side sticking up way more than the other side. So I try to get it on there pretty even. All right, so they're all in there. Everything went in there good. Everything feels good. Now I'm gonna do the same with the lower bearings. I'm gonna clean the surface that those bearings are gonna go in, and the bearing itself. And these guys go in there pretty much the same way. They got the tang on there, so the tang is gonna go in its little hole. And again, I try to keep it even on both sides, because it is going to stick up a little bit. You're going to get that for that crush. Sometimes this thrust bearing can be a little hard to get on there. This is the lower thrust bearing. If you're having a difficult time with it, you can just set it on a table, and kind of tap it down, make sure it gets all the way on there. But I put cap number 1 in there. I got these torqued to about 35 foot-pounds. This should be enough to get this bearing kind of crushed in there. So I took my reading from the journal on the crankshaft and I transferred that over to my dial indicator, my bore gauge here, and I'm going to check and see what kind of clearance we got. All right, so I'm getting about 3/1000 on there. Given that the mains are 2.5 inches, I'm going to say that that's pretty good. I'm okay with that. And theoretically, all the other ones should be the same. I just wanted to measure at least one of them so that I get an idea of what kind of clearance is in there. But that feels pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and pop this main off and get ready to drop that crankshaft down in there. All right, I'm going to give this crankshaft one final wipe down before I put it up inside the engine here, especially on the journals. All right, before I put this crankshaft in there, I'm going to put some assembly lube on these bearings here. Now I can put this crankshaft down in there and see how it fits. Well, I'm going to give this a little turn. Let's make sure. Okay, that feels like it's in there pretty good. I don't like to spin it too much. Just make sure that it's kind of sitting in there. Again, I don't want any chance of these bearings spinning out of there. Now I'm going to take the main caps, put some lube on the bearings for those, and put all those on. Make sure they're pointed in the right direction and in order. All right, now that they're all in there and I got the bolts, or the bolts started just a little bit, I'm going to run them down. But I'm not going to run them down. I'm just going to run them down until they touch the main cap, because I like to walk these things down on there by hand. I prefer not to hit it with an impact, you know, because then you got all that impact, you know. I don't want to loosen that bearing up from its home. You know, they're sitting home right now. So now I'm going to take my speed handle. You can use a regular ratchet for this, but I'm going to use my speed handle because I have one. And I'm just going to do like a turn on each one of these things and walk it all the way down. I was getting ready to put this little half moon thrust washer in there, and I forgot that you got to put this thing in there before you put this main cap on there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this main cap back off. All right, so on the back of this thing, this is your half moon thrust bearing. It's going to slide in between the block and the crankshaft, kind of like this. And the idea, you want to make sure that these grooves are going to be up against the crankshaft, because the crankshaft is what's going to be spinning. So the grooves are going to be facing out. I'm going to put some assembly lube on here, and then it just slides in between the engine block and the crankshaft all the way down, and then the top thrust bearing keeps it in place. Here's the equivalent on the top, or I guess this is on the bottom. I'm going to put some assembly lube on here, this friction area, and on this side. This is also a friction area for the crankshaft. And now this is kind of a good illustration of where your thrust bearing, if you have your thrust bearing too far off to one side, and this is exaggerated, but it's gonna, your crankshaft needs end play. Your crankshaft should slide forward and backward. And so if this thing is off center, forward or backward, it can mess up your end play. All right, so I got this cap back on there, snug down. I backed the bolts back off just a little bit, and I'm just going to tap this crankshaft with a rubber mallet to help try and align those thrust bearings. All right, now I'm going to go through and snug these outer ones. All right, now with all the bolts snugged down, I can confidently spin this crankshaft and not worry that it's going to spin any bearings. Hopefully this thing is smooth as butter. Oh yeah, that thing, no effort at all. No up and down movement. Feels really good. That's nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and torque these bolts down. basically from an inside out pattern. They go up to 30 and then 90 foot-pounds after that. So I'm gonna go through them all, do 15, and then go through them all, do 30, and then go through them all and do another 90. Well, I'll be honest, I went to 30 foot-pounds and I got to 45 degrees on these little ones, and it felt like they were about to snap. These are torque to yield bolts, which you're not supposed to reuse, and I'm reusing them, and the previous rebuild might have reused them, so I don't want to overstretch them. So I put them all at 45 degrees after 30 foot-pounds, and the little ones ended up torquing to about pretty close to 40 foot-pounds, and the big ones were pretty close to 60 foot-pounds. So I'm confident that that'll hold it in there. So hopefully this thing still spins good. Yep, nice and smooth. All right, I'm gonna set up and check the end play. I just got a little clamping indicator on here, and I'm gonna move the crankshaft forward and backward, and see that it's going about 6 thousandths, which is pretty good. 6, maybe 7 thousandths. That's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and put these side bolts in now that my end play is good. I didn't want to put these in there and then have the end play be bad and then have to pull them back out. I'm gonna put a little bit of RTV on the bottom of the head of this thing just to help keep it from any oil leaking out of there. So on your end play, I always say that between 6 and 12 thousandths is good on these engines. These get torqued to 30 foot-pounds, and I'm also gonna only do 45 degrees on them. It's supposed to be 90, but I'm only gonna do 45. So that's it. The crankshaft is in there. It feels like butter. It feels great in there. Now, do you have to do everything that I did? You gotta measure all the bearings. You gotta measure the clearance between the journals and the bearings. No, and you'll probably be okay if you didn't do it. And the end play, it'd probably be okay. But that one time that I don't do it, I feel like that would be the time that, you know, there's a machined bearing that's wrong inside there, and I got the wrong clearance, because you may not feel it by hand. You might need to use some measuring tools. But the crankshaft is in. Next up are these pistons. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and I'll see you later.